Boom. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the Project Freedom Podcast. All right, guys. Which tier of software developer are you? We're going to find out tonight. Okay. Let me show you guys a little tier graph that I have. And first and foremost, I guess I'll just say the reason why I'm doing the stream is because we haven't really done a tier list in a long time, honestly. We haven't done a tier list. We've only done one tier list episode before, and this is the first time in a long time we've done one. And there's like a plethora of different like jobs out there in the software industry that all kind of have like similar names, right, guys? And a lot of people get confused about these jobs and what they actually mean. So I'm here tonight to rank them for you guys and put them in order from the highest amount of clout to the lowest amount of clout. Okay. Sam says shadowy AF. Hi, Josh. Hi. Can't pronounce your name because I don't speak that language, but hello. I know who you are. Cody Moose in the Who says that beard is now permanent. You have declared it. I don't know, Cody. I don't know, Cody Moose. I'm still thinking about getting rid of it, man. We're going to have to see. We are going to have to see, my friend. So, guys, do you want to see? You guys want to see the tier list? I think you guys do. Behold, gentlemen. Behold. All right, guys. So we're going to break down about the 10 most common jobs in the software development / software engineering industry. And we're going to put them in one of these five categories, okay? So at the bottom, as you guys see, we have absolutely garbage programmer, which, okay. When you guys see what's actually put in there, it's not that you're garbage because you're just garbage. Most likely it's garbage because you're just starting out. But, everyone's got to start somewhere, right? So don't take offense. Don't take offense, okay? No offense, please. We have one above that. Remote job, at least. It's pretty good, all right? A lot of people actually just, stay there forever and have no problem with it because in this situation, if you have a remote job, guys, you can actually do a lot of things on your own outside of your regular traditional wagey 9-to-5. What I mean by that, friends, is you can actually have a side hustle or other jobs outside of your 9-to-5 if your 9-to-5 is remote. That this ends up being advantageous. So at the very least, friends, that's where you want to go to in the end, in my opinion, at a bare minimum. Okay. Then we have in the green, a couple of you guys' favorites, FAAGN, Fang, which you guys know what Fang is already by now, right? If you guys have seen this channel, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Netflix, whatever, right? We got a couple of those people in DD. And then we have the one above that, which is the I don't even code anymore section. That one's pretty nice. I've been there before. It's very nice. Sometimes it's still there, but there's some drawbacks to that as well. We're going to talk about it though. And then finally, guys, the highest of the list, the shadowy supercoder or super shadowy category. And what makes you super shadowy? Well, you guys have to find out, right? Fearless Trader in the house. What's up? What up, dude? The Instagram models at our gym are definitely back-end engineers. Hit the hip extension machine. Anavar, give up. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Kyle W. saying yes. Is mechanically meta. Technically. Could you clarify what you mean by that, sir? Could you clarify? Okay, boys. Let's do the dirty. All right, guys. So the first one that we're going to do a ranking for, Mr. Super Shadowy. Nope. No, it's not. You guys have been famoosed. You guys have been famoosed. What do you guys think we're going to rank first? And I'm going to let you guys know. It's going to be in this bottom category here. Absolutely garbage programmer. You might want to take a guess. I'll give you guys about 5 seconds. You guys got it? I think you guys might have some good ideas at least, right? All right. Time is up, guys. Factman, no. WordPress dev. I mean, basically, right? That's one of them in there. That's one of them. All right. So, in this first category, you guys, we have our junior developer, junior front-end developer, WordPress developer, whatever stigma you want to call it. Mr. Cody Moose in the Hoose. Mr. Cody Moose in the Hoose is basically right. He's right. He gets it. All right. Wix dev. Shell scripter says Seth Gibson. All right. So what is let's just make this as like bare bones as possible. Let's just throw the label junior developer on it. Okay. We'll throw a label junior developer on it. What is that? What makes a junior developer, guys? Well, I will tell you all. Basically, it's just like if it's your first, you're young, you're probably younger, right? You don't have to be younger, you can be older, but you're probably younger, okay? And you can consider this to be like your first foot in the door of the industry. In fact, it's probably your first, it might actually be your first real job or real source of employment, period, other than like, you know, working at a grocery store or something like that, whatever you Zoomers are doing these days. So it's not that it's this awful thing, but you're kind of at the lower end of the totem pole, right? And that's to be expected because anytime you start out anything in life, you're going to be at the lower end of the totem pole. Now, it's good to get your foot in the door. It's good for experience, okay? But it's got a bad stigma to it because people are like, oh, he's a junior. Well, he probably isn't going to know how to do any of this stuff, so we're going to have to like find someone who's not a junior. Unless this place is specifically looking for a junior dev, or of course you are self-employed. But we're talking about the traditional wagey world here, are we not? And another one here, my friends, another one that I'm going to put here for you guys to see that is about in the same category is basically your average friendly web developer next door, okay? And this one, like, it's the same thing. The average friendly web developer next door, like, there's not a whole lot going on. The web developer most likely is probably self-employed. He's not employed by a company, so he might have a little bit more freedom than the junior dev. But you're probably building websites and stuff for people, and let's just say you're not. Let's just say you are employed at a traditional company, and you're supposed to only be touching the front end. You're not. They're gonna. You will have to eventually touch the back end, even if they tell you that you're not going to, because the people that are telling you you're not going to have no idea what the hell they're talking about. But don't worry, you'll find out. And actually, when you're getting your foot in the door, sometimes it's not so bad to get initiated or baptized by fire. New Horizons, I'm not shadowy enough. Soon, trademark. Is this the casting couch programming? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, my friend. Can't chat too much driving. Can't chat too much driving. No chatting and driving. Just now, pulling in the driveway, Sam. Good. We don't want you to get in an accident while you're watching the stream. Sam says, shadowy supercoders get paid hundreds of dollars per hour for an architecture diagram. Ask me how I know. This is true. This is actually true. Literally. However, guys, at this level, you're basically still kind of in the wagey, trapped and cagey part, right? You can't be upset when you're starting out, though. Like I said, for the 5th time, getting your foot in the door is how you get to that shadowy tier up at the top. That's where you want to be, right? You don't want to stay at the bottom forever. You got to start somewhere, right? So what do you guys think is next? We're going to go for the remote job at least category, okay? And there's a few that can come in here, and probably a majority of people that are in software are probably in this job, okay? Or in one of these, all right? Now, I would say that several jobs in this industry fall underneath this category, And let's take a look. So you guys, down here at the remote job at least category, we're going to include software developer. So just plain software developer. Okay. SQL developer. So like, let's just say you have a specific language and or task you got to do. But maybe it's not like all encompassing. And then software developer 2, all right. Software engineer 1, software engineer 2. All of these are going to go in that remote job at least category. Okay. And what do these guys do? Well, basically, they do majority of the work. They kind of have the grunt work, and they're kind of in this like special area that like they don't have the seniority to be able to just be like telling people what to do and being the decision maker and being a leader. They also don't have the ability to kind of do less because they're a junior and they're not expected to. Because if you're a junior dev, guys, and you're new, they're going to be like, hey, this dude's probably can't do this. Let's just leave him out of this. Right. So the pay is all right at this level. In fact, the pay at this level can go like well over the 6-figure mark. And some people could definitely end their careers here. And we'll add, you get a remote job at least, right? So either whether or not you're working for yourself or a traditional 9-to-5 wagey, you're going to be having a remote job at the very least. And if the place that you work for doesn't offer remote, then you're going to go somewhere and they will, because you have the option to, if that is what you please to do. But there's really nothing special or great about this. This is more close to the middle ground, okay? And ideally, you work your way from that first position into this position after 6 months to 2 years, okay? If it's taken more than 2 years to do that, then you have another kind of problem. Because in all honesty, people just end up starting here to begin with, okay? New Horizons got to listen to working out. You can't hit the floor on your first day of the gym and try to do 200 pounds or 300-pound deadlifts. No. Cliff says, I'm a software developer with 10 years experience in a video game. Yes, indeed. Of course. If it's in a video game, then it's got to be true, right? Yes, Cliff, I also heard that you are now a professional. So congratulations, everyone. Congrats to Cliff. Yes. All right, guys. What do y'all think is next down here? Because we're going to go for the FAAGN category now. So you guys tell me, what do y'all think is going to be in this category? I don't think the consensus is gonna understand this one as much. Okay. Soy dev. What's up, Bright Six of Blue? Soy dev, Cody? Nah, not all of them. Come on, Cody. We know some that aren't soy. Some of them have indeed been able to resist the subconscious biased retraining or whatever that they have to do. Red says, "I got to send you an email regarding thumbnails. I got to know how to make those kind of thumbnails. Hit my guy up, man. DM me. I'll tell you who does them for me. Can we get the wow sound effect for Cliff? Guys, I need to get a soundboard, don't I? A one that actually works with this setup, because I have a soundboard, if you guys remember. Guava paper pusher. They don't count. Busco says, we all know FAAGN devs get the most cat. This is for true. All right, boys. So yeah, basically, there's really no proper way to title this one, but this one, my friends, literally any FAANG software development / engineering / architect position whatsoever at all, period, because there's way too many. They're entire companies on their own. But even if you're a junior in this category, you're well above the people that are slightly below this, right? You're well, if you're a junior at FAANG, you're well above the remote job at least category, just by nature of being able to work at a FAANG company, okay? As much as some of us hate it, This is for true. It's probably the highest level of clout that you guys can get in the industry, at least in the past decade, right? Will it be that way for the next decade? We don't know. But for now, that's true, right? And that's something that we cannot deny. So what exactly is it? Like literally, like I said, literally insert any position at all related to software in this category, okay? Just by nature of them working at a FANG company is what makes this one really, really good. You get an extremely good experience. This is probably the largest clout note on your resume that somebody could possibly have in this industry, okay? I mean that sincerely. You have an abundance of pay and benefits. Like you could be working at Apple as a senior front-end engineer. Ask me how I know. And you could be making well over like $300,000 a year in basically your salary, and then probably add another $100,000 on top of that off of like benefits, etc., like a stipend, Apple stock, free computers, free foot massages, like free buffet at the whatever. Like you can just add all that in there. Okay. There is no lack of pay and benefits in this category. Okay. Now, the drawbacks, because there are actually some of those too. They have what's called the golden handcuffs, my friends, the golden handcuffs, which basically just means that like it's too good to leave this job position, even if you guys wanted to, because the pay and the benefits are just so good. All right. The second biggest drawback is the fact that these jobs are in California. Now, they have mostly been remote, and a lot of these companies are like willing to allow people to be remote, but the FANG companies are a little bit different in the sense that they wanted people to be in the office and have this like work communes, communal thing, whatever, more so than normal companies. Okay. Because it's like a lifestyle for these people, for some of them, not all of them. Okay. But some of them, this is really important. It's like a lifestyle. And finally, the third largest drawback is the work pods over at Amazon. Sorry, Amazon employees. So we put FANG in a category of their own because I think that it deserves that, right? So guys, what about this one, y'all? What about the I don't even code anymore category? What do you guys think goes in this category? I'll give you guys a second to take an educated guess if you don't know. But there's really quite a few that you could probably think of, okay? I'll say I'll do my piece and put the good ones there, but two of them, and I'm not talking about managerial positions, okay? Because it could be managerial positions in all honesty, but we're not talking about that in this case. All right. Are you guys ready? There's a free buffet of knuckle sandwiches in the Hot Dude Army. Yeah, there is. The biggest downside is being force-fed soy. Oh, God. Architects. Cody Moose in the Hoos. God bless Cody Moose in the Hoos. You're right, sir. Architect. First and foremost, right here. That's our little guy over here with our fancy wine glass. He's the software architect, guys. And what does a software architect do? Well, minimal amounts of code at this point, okay? These people are really rather just designing software systems as opposed to actually writing the code itself, okay? These people are probably most likely very old and probably almost retired, and you're really getting paid at this point for your knowledge. Like at this point, your cranium is the most important thing, and it's not your ability or your brain's ability to problem solve and troubleshoot at this point. It's your experience and knowledge in building complex software systems and how they can not screw up and blow up. Because if you have millions and billions of dollars going into software systems, these things need to be created the correct way so that they don't get all jacked up. So that's the first one, is the architect. Cody Moose in the Hoos is indeed correct. Seth Gibson says, Solutions engineer, yeah, basically up there too. TSP, TPM, yeah. Dev engineer lead and sales consultant, yeah. So basically, all right. So I've encompassed most of that with our buddy over here. This guy, look at me. I'm a senior software engineer. So look at me. I'm a senior software engineer. That's what I would say is also in the same category. And this, outside of working at Fang, okay, being like a senior is probably the maximum amount of clout on your resume that you can have. It's probably the outside of Fang, okay, the most recognizable one outside of Fang. These people, they have a special ability, guys. They have a special ability to be able to debug things with print statements and window.alerts in the browser. Crazy, right? These people know the inner workings of the system, whether it's their system that they built or a system in general. They probably already have a very well high-level overview of every kind of software system that you can think of because they've probably been there and done that before. And these people, the seniors, they have, we'll just say, an army of plebs underneath them, the juniors down here, guys, if you guys remember. The juniors who they have at their bidding to do the work for them, right? So the seniors, they're not really, if you set it up correctly, or at least how I set it up back when I was still doing this, you'll be doing minimal amounts of work, and the work that you do is higher quality. Therefore, your pay is higher for less time, okay? Because you're valuable. You know a lot more than most people. Now let's talk about the bad parts, the drawbacks of this one. So you actually are responsible. So you have this army of devs underneath you that can do stuff for you, but you actually are responsible for doing the hard work when the juniors can't do it. And trust me, those juniors, they will not do it correctly sometimes, probably a lot of times, all right? Which is why you got to train them well. That's why you have to invest. If you are a senior, it's beneficial for you to invest your time in the juniors so they can pick up the slack and they don't have to harass you at Saturday at 2 o'clock in the morning because something broke. On top of that, and in similar situation too, when things are breaking, you're going to be having to work long and hard hours when things are blowing up and everyone's freaking out. All right. When all of your superiors and your inferiors are freaking out, if you're in this position, you're probably the only people that can fix it. And it's probably some very ugly work that needs to be fixed. And it's going to probably require you to smoke about 300 joints of marijuana and probably like 500 coffees to execute all the tasks at hand that the other people couldn't do. And another drawback, I mean, you probably could be working on a beach somewhere in peace and quiet, but you can't because the juniors fuck something up. Can the devs do something, please? No, in this case, they can't. Tech CEO? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I still have the code sometimes, though, unfortunately. Unfortunately, Sam, I still have the code sometimes, but yeah. Good evening, Christian Soto. Grizzly Tech Chief. Yes, indeed. Fearless Sugar says, what more important than this Lambo? Knowledge. Yes, very true. Derek D in the house. Yo, what's up, dude? Good to see you. New Horizons. Random question. Do you think it's possible job somewhere else and still do software development twice the buck? Yeah. We got people who are double dipping. You enrolled in the new course, didn't you? DM Scott, D-Man Scott in the developer direction chat. He is our our favorite resident double dipper. But yeah, that's actually great. I mean, that's actually a great thing to do as long as your conscience doesn't hurt and you're able to handle it. All right, guys. Now on to the last category, the super shadowy category. What do you guys think is going to go in here? I'll let you guys take a guess on that. So we got two things in here. All right. We got a few things, just two, but I mean, you could put a couple of these but I'm going to give you guys 2. Oh boy. All right. Are y'all ready? Engine devs, especially those rendering and physics programmer freaks. Close. I know your thinking is in the right direction, Seth. Close. A guava farmer. Yeah, the guava farmers are shadowy. Monero devs. Well. That is very good and close guess. All right, boys. So over here, my friends, in the super shadowy category, we have our resident Chad Solidity developer. So let's talk about him first. This is someone who can write smart contracts and Solidity and Rust and whatever. Like, well, right now there's really mostly Solidity and Rust, but there's like a few more small, tiny, nuanced smart contract languages that absolutely nobody uses. But primarily, let's talk about just Solidity. Let's just say Solidity developer, okay, guys? Solidity. Extremely high demand, right? Because we have a massive amount of Web3 development going on right now. And there's very, very, very few people to fit these shoes, which means that you're also, or 2, very rare. You have a rare niche skill set that people have been paying anywhere between $300,000 to $750,000 a year. Excuse me, $300,000 to $900,000 a year. If you guys saw from that stream, the article, for you to write this kind of code. All right. And the third benefit, my friends, is that since you're working on a majority of this stuff right now, is basically going to be the new financial system. That's different topic for different stream, but let's not kid ourselves here. You literally have the ability to change the world with your code for the better. So this is probably the most Chad position I could think of in the shadowy realm, but it does have some drawbacks, right? You're the person who's going to hear the brunt of, can the devs do something, please, sir? Please don't rug. If you guys know what I mean. And if you don't, that's when a Web3 project goes to shit and the devs get blamed for it, when all they were trying to do was just write code. Wasn't meaning no harm, just trying to write some good old shadowy code. So yeah, you're going to take the blame if hacks occur, all right? And oh, indeed, the hacks will occur, especially if you're not prepared, especially if your code is not audited by a professional, like Ryan from Elevate Cyber. And you're really not like, you don't have the maximum power of a shadowy supercoder because, well, you have the power, but you're not abusing it for the worse of society. You're using it to better society. So, but you're not going to get the same amount of pay, even though $900,000 a year, that's a lot of money. You're not going to get the same amount of pay that if you could have used the skill set to abuse it for people. Okay. And the worst drawback, which involves that, is you have to be the one to fight the evil shadowy supercoders. And as you guys can see over here on the right, we have Mr. Vitalik Buterin looking like an absolute Chad there. Wow, wee, wow. Vitalik, everyone loves Vitalik, right? And we just put him as the image. But this one, guys, thank you, Cody, for getting rid of that person. This one, guys, I would say this is the literal hoodied shadowy supercoder. All right. And what is that? Basically, you're just a Web3 hacker. You are, we'll say, a black hat hacker. And you basically patiently wait all day long for teams to post their code to GitHub repos so that you can see there's an exploit that you can take advantage of and take people's ETH. And your main goal is to take, his main goal, guys, is to take your ETH. All right. And he probably has taken your ETH in one way, shape, or form. You just don't know it yet. They can take a lot of ETH. They can steal billions of dollars of ETH in, or what, literally whatever EVM compatible asset, they can take it. And they have plenty of it before, right? Billions of dollars worth. So technically, you could work very minimal amount and make $1 billion, and boom. That's it. Now, what are the drawbacks you're asking? Because I'm sure that there are some, right? Oh yeah, there are. You're probably gonna have a flagged wallet wherever you send your stolen funds to, so it's gonna be a little hard to actually cash out of those tasty ETHs that you were able to hack. Okay. You're probably gonna have to use like mixers like Tornado.cash, which is just kind of dangerous sometimes. You're probably on the run from the FBI or CIA at this point, and all the development teams, they all hate you, and they probably all have bounties out for you. So, things to take in mind. Things to take in mind, gentlemen. It might potentially not be the worst life, especially if you don't really care about harming people. But or you could do the opposite of that. You could use the same tools, the same powers to discover vulnerabilities in project's code. And when you go and speak to them, say, hey, I found this vulnerability. Pay me $5 million. I will show you where it is and fix it. And that's basically called a bounty. People do that all the time. They don't have to destroy the world in order to profit and make the world better. And they're using the same power for the good. That's something I didn't add in this one, but I would say that basically the same tier level here of super shadowy, okay? Let's take a look, friends. Here we have our ranking for the different sets of developers. Which one are you guys? Let me know which one you guys are and which one you want to get to. And speaking of the super shadowy category, we are still open for enrollment for Bootcamp ETH. If you guys want to check it out, developerdirection.com. Go over to this site right here. Click the Browse Courses section, and Bootcamp ETH is indeed still open for registration. It's going to go finish on Sunday, April 10th. Yeah. What you guys will learn in here, it basically going to be 5 weeks, guys, and it's going to be a speed run of JavaScript, React, Solidity. Guys should be able to build your own decentralized application when it's all said and done and add it to your coding portfolio. And honestly, this is probably the 5th Web3 course that I've given so far. This one's a little bit more specific than the original blockchain fundamentals like I have been giving, because the whole point of it is to use React to build the dApp. The blockchain fundamentals one, that's a 6 weeks course. We're not going to do that probably until the end of the year because it's really hard to give, guys. It takes so damn long. But that one's more focused on the underlying technology of blockchain as well, and heavily on Solidity. This one, enough Solidity to get the work done and not a whole lot more, okay? But yeah, developerdirection.com, if you guys are still interested, we're open until Sunday. Fearless Share says, if they don't pay bounties, then they're ETH. Yes. Yep, they're just going to take it, right? It's like, hey, we warned you. That happened to Thorchain back when they got hacked last summer. Apparently, the hackers told the developers, like, hey, y'all, we found this flaw in your software. We're willing to fix it for you guys for at least, I think they were only asking for $1 million. And the team just basically straight up ignored them and says, hey, there's no flaws in our code. And they didn't even have an audit yet at this time. And what did they do? I think they ended up stealing $5 million instead of $1 million. They were asking for $1 million and they were able to take $5 million. So that got memory old. Yeah, guys, links right here. Or you could hack their system and go to them and say, hey, here's the next point. Pay me so you know what it is to fix. Yeah. But in order for them to exploit it in real time, it would involve stealing funds, right? Unless you mean they would just mess with take a small bit. I don't know. Go New Horizons, go check out the Solana wormhole hack. That would have been a situation where somebody could have done that. He could have because he tested it out by creating, basically what they did was he created fake ETH. It wasn't real fake ETH. He created wrapped ETH, and he was able to move that wrapped ETH. He was able to basically add ETH to the ledger because of how the wormhole worked. It was one line of code. One line of code, guys. One line of code. $1 billion, year 2028. All right, guys. Speaking of developer direction, I have the webinar to go to. I'm 6 minutes late, so if you guys are watching from the group, I'll be over there right now. Hope you guys learned something. I am out.